This is our healing list event for October. I had to get my brain thinking for a second. October, and whew, the energy is high. So it really started coming in a couple of days ago. So a couple of days ago, while we were getting some trailer loads of sand and gravel, I had a look through our potato patch that we planted last month in our Planting the Seeds for New Beginnings healing event in September that we do every September. And I noticed the first potato plant starting to push through the straw. And I thought that would be the first of a succession. I thought they were going to come through pretty quick, and they have. There's already over half a dozen there that have poked up, and they're growing very quickly. We've had so much rain, and the sun's really warm when the sun does come out. So that's what started this connection for today. And then I also, a couple of days ago, was very much drawn to start painting a new drum. And this is also very much connected to the energy that's coming in really strongly today, which is basically that growth of the seed up, pushing up from under the surface. So especially up from within the earth itself. So I'm thinking of the lotus flower, the lotus that grows in the mud. The seed grows in the mud, and then the stem pushes up, and then the flower comes out from the mud. So I've got some stuff here about the lotus, because that really represents this energy that I'm feeling. And also the drum, which I haven't showed anyone yet. Well, I've just put it up on the website, is this, which I'm absolutely in love with. And so I've been sitting with it. It's just quite incredible. I've been sitting with it all morning. I was working on it and finished it off late last night. So it is very powerful in regards to, hi Joanne, the current energy and that pushing out. It's almost like she lives in the earth, and I've called it the Earth Mother. She lives in here, and she's pushing up, and she's pushing up out on through the surface of the earth. And the rooster here is inspiring her to wake up. The rooster is the wake-up call. The rabbit is that cautious side, but it also represents that fertility, that creativity, and abundance too. The rabbit has quite a strong presence here in this particular painting. So I'm very looking forward to playing this drum with you during this healing event. So I'm going to do that soon. Before I go into all of what we're going to do, I've got it's all unfolding very, very clearly and very quickly. Hi, Kathleen. Lovely to see you. I want to read a couple of things about the lotus. Thank you. There's a couple of things about the lotus. And then I've already laid out 42, because we have 42 people on the healing list today. I've laid face down here beside me on my right 42 healing energy cards. They're face down. I don't know what they are. I just grabbed them from the deck. And then I have your names in here. So I'm going to grab a card and a name, and I'm going to put you down on my left side, representing basically like planting the seeds. It's like grabbing the seed that is you, putting it down here on the ground. And then with the drum, I want to really encourage that sort of growth, that moving out, that cutting through cutting through the surface, almost like the rise of the phoenix as well. So this strong growing energy I want to really, really work on today. But I feel like planting those seeds again, just reinforcing those, feels strong. So the energy is coming in very quickly, as you can probably tell. So I trust I'm explaining this properly. So once I've planted you all down here on my left, I'm going to use the drum to really entice you to grow up like the lotus. So speaking of lotus, let's look at a couple of things about the lotus that I found this morning. See what resonates with you and what you need at this time in your life. It says, a lotus is a survivor. It pushes its way through muddy waters and finds the sunlight. As the bud hits the surface of the water and drinks in the sunlight, a single petal opens, signifying an achievement. Oftentimes in our busy lives, we overlook those smallest achievements. And really, that is what life is about, isn't it? Or a big part of it is those small achievements, those small steps, those little things that keep us going. Another thing that may resonate with you, it says, back in Egyptian times, the lotus flower was very important in their spirituality. It means creation, rebirth. It was a symbol of the sun, because at nightfall the lotus closes and goes beneath the water, and at dawn it climbs up above the water and reopens. So this sense of death and rebirth, which is a really strong energy we're tending to move out of at this time. It was very big in October, and a couple of weeks ago that death, rebirth energy has really shifted through. So I feel like this is like a push through with that birthing energy. And I grabbed a couple of things here from Wikipedia about the lotus. So see how this resonates. It's interesting. Lotus plants are adapted to grow in the floodplains of slow-moving rivers and delta areas. Stands of lotus drop hundreds of thousands of seeds every year to the bottom of the pond. While some sprout immediately, most are eaten by wildlife, and the remaining seeds can remain dormant for an extensive period of time as the pond silts in and dries out. Then during flood conditions, sediments containing these seeds are broken open, and the dormant seeds rehydrate and begin a new lotus colony. So I think that's really highlighting the seeds that we plant in life, the seeds we may plant for our future as well, that they don't all have to sprout and germinate and grow immediately. Some don't grow at all. Some grow some distant time in the future. Some grow immediately. It says, under favourable circumstances, the seeds of this perennial may remain viable for many years, with the oldest recorded lotus germination being from seeds that were 1,300 years old. They were recovered from a dry lake bed in China. Therefore, the Chinese regard the plant as a symbol of longevity. That's quite the accomplishment, if that is true. Hi, Bathsheba. Lovely to see you. So the lotus, very symbolic in this energy that's coming through today. And I really feel, like I could say, oh yeah, the phoenix. And the phoenix, yes, is applicable here as well. It has the same feeling of rising, of lifting up. But the emphasis here is moving out of the dark. So moving out, and this is why I like the lotus to represent this particular connection, because the lotus grows out of the mud. Even this drum, it feels like she's emerging out from inside the earth, from the internal dark places within us. This feels, at times when I was painting this in certain parts, it felt very veiny, like carrying life force through in these inner underneath parts. So what's sitting underneath in you? Like we planted the potato seeds last month and covered them with straw, planted them down into the earth a bit, but I kind of placed them on the surface. But what is sitting inside you, like underneath, like deep within, that is calling to maybe come out as an action or come out as something that you bring forth into your life, a seed that you could potentially look at and see if this is the right time to germinate and bring what that seed represents to life. So before I pull your names out of this bowl and assign you a card, I want to just play this bowl for a moment. So take a nice big breath, and I see this, so you're all in here. I see this as like a cleansing, an activation, okay, seeds sitting dormant, ideas, inspirations, dreams, all these types of things sitting dormant inside us, underneath, inside, sometimes in our subconscious. but these sit dormant inside until what? Until the conditions are right. Because when the conditions are right for the seed, it activates, something activates inside it. And that's what I want to do as I play the bowl, like activate something inside you, like, oh, the conditions are right now for me to re-look at this idea or to re-look at what this seed represents in my life. So this, what I'm doing now, is the activation. It's the sunlight, it's the warmth, it's the moisture, it's whatever you need, the conditions that you need to get things happening. So think about this as the activation, activating. Conditions are right and conditions are ripe for this potential new beginning. Okay, let's start assigning you to a card here. So just need to be patient because I've got 42 names here to get through. So as I connect with you, just see how the information or the card resonates with you at this time. I recommend that you maybe make some notes in your journal to really give some thought to that particular card or that energy that comes up and how it feels for you. How does that relate to what you're wanting to bring forward in your life? What are you ready to activate in your life? What are you ready to manifest that maybe you've been thinking about or planning for or even preparing for some time? And the time is right now. The conditions are right for it to happen. So also pay attention to the things that I say for other people, because there might be some things there for you too. So the very first person who is eager to start this connection is you, Bathsheba. Bathsheba, it's very exciting, the first and the last person, I think, because, you know, this is your eagerness, this is your readiness, you're ready to go. So I'm going to just grab a card I'm not looking at. They're upside down anyway. Oh, this is good, a good way to start. It's card 63, Navigation. It talks about getting your bearings, working and aligning yourself with your inner compass to work out what you need to do next, working out which way to go, the direction that you want to take, and how you're going to navigate yourself through your current life and steer yourself towards whatever this seed represents. What is it that wants to grow for you in your life? So you're the very first seed planted or seed activated, seed budding, ready. Ready to go. Next person is Priscilla Kimboko. You've got manifest. Well, this is a great start, isn't it? Manifest. This is about manifesting, bringing something that has just been an idea or something that's just been sitting in the background, bringing it into form, taking action, birthing the new in physical form and abundance. Fantastic start. How exciting. Great, Bathsheba. Next person is this person, Carol White. Carol, didn't you have this card the other day in the Healing Connection? It's notice the details. This is interesting. Make sure, yeah, you did. This is hilarious, actually. Make sure that you comprehend and understand what is being communicated. Don't fill in the blanks or read between the lines. Pay attention and read. So this is the second time this card has come up, especially for you, and the odds of that, I'd say, are pretty low. So this is actually pretty funny. So notice the details as you prepare to bring new things into your life, Carol. Next is this person, Andreas Kazantzidis. Andreas, your card is Recenter. So to help you bring new things into your life, find your center. Find your center. And it feels like maybe take that as a priority too. If things aren't really moving swiftly for you or aren't really in good flow, get to your center first and then you'll flow from there. That's the feeling. Andreas, welcome. And I feel like here is fertile ground. It's like the muddy waters the lotus flower grows from. Who's this? This is Marguerite. Marguerite Pepper Brady. And Marguerite, your card is Breaking Free. Hi, Nadine. breaking free. This is really about stretching out of your boundaries and your limitations now. That a part of you wants to grow more, but you can't grow further than the box or the limitation that you've put around yourself. So what about that box needs to break down so you can break free from it and really stretch and grow into new territory and new ways? That's what that card's about, Marguerite. Welcome. Flowing free is for Michele Burch. Michele, flowing free, card 97. It says surrender. And you know, the thing that it just comes to mind with this, just surrender into the mud. Oh, I'm grateful you're here too. Thanks, Teala. Surrender into the mud, and I almost feel like, you know, just surrender back, Michele, and just see what's going to happen. There is this sense here of sort of letting go of your need to perhaps control or be in control of how things are going, and just surrender and see what happens. Move with each step and trust in the direction that you're going. Participate actively in your life instead of pushing against if you feel that you've been doing that. Next person is Courtney Smith. Courtney, you have self-acceptance. I'm pretty sure you had the self-love card in the last healing event. So this is actually pretty similar, but the self-acceptance card. Actually, that's what I'm remembering, isn't it? I'm remembering your November reading and the self-acceptance that came up, or the acceptance card. Clearing emotional baggage, blocked creativity and stagnant sexual energy, and finding acceptance. And what is coming to mind with this is acceptance of the new beginnings that are all around you at this time. So welcome, Courtney. Next person and card. So the card is the journey. The person is Rayna Ortiz. Oh, this is really cool because this is like you journeying forward towards the unknown here, Rayna. And you've got this cheer squad, these people cheering you along the path. You know, as you journey towards the unknown, you have a lot of support around you as you journey forward. So keep trusting in the steps that you're taking that are taking you into that new beginning or that new phase of your life. Thanks, Rayna. Next card is Incoming Clarity, and it's for you, Kathleen Glen. Incoming Clarity. So this is empowering. This is exciting. And in fact, it feels to me like this is like an activation of sorts. Like all you've been waiting for is the clarity. That's the feeling here, Kathleen. So to start something new. So the clarity comes. So you can wait for it to come, or you can go out kind of seeking it and know that it's also seeking you. You can go out and ask people for advice or their thoughts on something. Go read or take yourself places that will helpfully rendezvous you up with clarity. So trust in perfect timing and be patient. Clarity is coming, but also there's a feeling of activity. Be proactive in your seeking of clarity. Next person has this card, System Purging. And it's you, Emily Fussell. System Purging. It says, clear the toxic clutter, tune up, wash off, remove the build-up of toxicity and negativity. Yay. And you know what that reminds me of? Remove the build-up of toxicity and negativity. It reminds me of like if you were a seed, or if the seed had been dormant, that I talked about before, and it had a coating, let's say, of mud, dried up mud around it, and then the rains came and the conditions were right, and the coating, the outer coating, the shell broke away. And that's the feeling here. What have you got that's been covering or protecting these inner dreams or this inner seed that you've got there that needs breaking down or purging or releasing, removing the build-up of that build up around the seed. Thanks, Emily. Okay, next person has the card Self-Love, and it's Alison. Alison, Self-Love. This feels just really beautiful. This feels like holding yourself in the mud, holding yourself in the growth and the activation of the seed, and where you're going to take that beautiful lotus flower that's emerging and growing from within you. And just really honouring and holding that space in a really quiet accepting and loving space. That's what I'm feeling here, and it feels beautiful. Just like oming, oming through it. Just really beautiful and focused, not complicated. So thanks, Alison. Okay, next person has communication bridge, and it's you, Susan Sonsteng. So Susan, communication bridge. This is about bridging the gap or bridging the space. This is also about growing, isn't it? Okay, growing out of the mud and into what? Where are you growing? What are you growing into? Because this is the bridge that's taking you somewhere. So it might not necessarily be exactly what you want to be growing, but it's like that seed is taking you, maybe it seems like straight up, but it's going to actually tilt you over to what it is that you do want to bring forth in your life. Like where I find myself now living is somewhere where I dreamed of living like 10 years ago or more, but there was another stepping stone, which I didn't realize at the time, that was taking us here. I thought that the stepping stone was the final, but it wasn't. It was the stepping stone that actually took me to the dream that I had all those years ago. So sometimes our dreams, we go without realizing it until we look back and things have happened. Our dreams can sort of take us somewhere else first, which is leading us to wherever it is that we want to be. Communication may be important too for you, Susan, and really communicating how you feel and really connecting with what you want in your life moving forward. So thank you. Okay, next person has the harvest. And it's Christopher Regan. You've got card 55, the harvest. Used to be the tree of life. I've changed it. Enjoy the fruits of your labour and your hard work. The seeds that you're connecting with now, the new beginnings, are the fruits of your hard work and your labour. And this is the thing with the seeds. The seeds came from a fruit that had already fruited and it already had been harvested, let's say. It had already reached its that point of, I guess, reproduction or what have you. So it feels like whatever it is that you're stepping into, Christopher, is coming from the hard work that you've already put in to the fruit that has provided the seeds that you're preparing to take forward into your life now. So that's awesome. Okay, Christopher, thank you. Next person has blossoming. Oh, this is exciting. It's you, Jane Corlett. Blossoming, growth. This can feel like a physical discomfort as you grow. It's a bit like the caterpillar transforming into the butterfly. But there is this blossoming, this sense of revival too within yourself. It's time to activate who you truly are and let that part blossom or grow or shine. So this is the growth. This is you now pushing up out of the mud and letting yourself blossom here, Jane. So thank you. Okay, next person, we want to get this card right underneath. And it's Ruins to Wonder. And it's for you, Matthew Keith. Ruins to Wonder, card 91. It says rebuild in new and improved ways. Rise up from the ashes. Create something better than before. Be dedicated, commit, and create new memories. This has a very phoenix feel. So out of the ashes, out of the ruins from the past, create something better, something, better is probably the best word, better than before in your own mind. So increase your stand perhaps, or, okay, I've got an opportunity in these ruins, so what am I going to do with it? It reminds me a bit of the fire that destroyed my old kiln. And I decided, yes, I want to keep doing ceramics and I'm going to use this as an opportunity to upgrade and to get a bigger kiln and to upgrade my electricity. So that's the sort of feeling here. So what can you do? How can you turn those ruins into wonder? Thanks, Matt. Oh, hi, Melanie. It's lovely to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I trust you're well. Okay, let's see who's next. Next person has this ouchie card. Reality, and it's you, Yvonne Kruzich. And Yvonne, card 78, it says that this is about processing what happened, the past, an emergency, urgent, sudden, chaos, difficulty, a one-off event, change and look for the good in the bad. So, it's all nice talking about new beginnings and planting new seeds and all this sort of stuff that the new brings, but in some instances, the new is not comfortable. It can come off the back of something really difficult that forces us to change or forces us into something new that we really probably don't really want to do. And we put our feet in the ground and we, feel really stubborn to be able to let that new in. So there is a sense here of letting down of your guard, perhaps Yvonne, and noticing what needs to end or doors that need to close so that the new beginnings can come in. So I trust that resonates. Next person has this card, New Power Rising. And it's you, Teala Smith, New Power Rising. Card 70. It says, you're the conqueror of obstacles. There is no mud too thick or too toxic that you can't grow in or grow from. It says that you are brave and that a tough situation has made you stronger. So there is a strong sense of resilience here, responsibility, true power, and that you're building momentum. So keep going with what you've been doing and almost feel like the things that you've been breaking down about yourself and the realities and the truth of your life and yourself, because all of this is making you stronger. So as that flower, as that lotus, I feel that you're really establishing good roots here in that seed, even though things may not be popping up over the surface yet or revealing that much in your life. It's the roots. Your roots are where you're focusing, and your roots make you strong. And that's going to help you really be able to push out and create the most beautiful blossom that you could even imagine. So your roots are strong. That's what you've been doing. And it's going to pay off, is the feeling. A new power is rising inside you. How exciting. Next person has this card, Traditions. And it's you, Robin Hippler. So traditions feel important. So this is like sharing your story. It's about learning from your past and even connecting with your old traditions. So traditions that maybe you did for a while with your family or that you remember as a child, or maybe traditions to do with your country or your culture that you're wanting to keep alive or keep bringing forward. And I feel like in some ways this is what establishes the roots of who you are your traditions and stories and your cultural things and family things that you want to bring up from the past, bringing out the old things at Halloween that you used to have when your children were young, or bringing out the old Christmas decoration. These just feel really important and part of a really strong foundation of who you are and allowing this new to grow for you, Robin. So I trust that makes sense. Thanks, Robin. Okay, next person has this card. It's called Uncover the Heart, and it's for you, Nicole Wiggins. And look, this looks a bit like this flower that wants to rise up. And it feels to me like maybe for you, Nicole, that part of you may be hesitant or guarded or protecting or waiting back and not allowing yourself to blossom and grow in these ways that I've been talking about. So don't let the smallness or your own self-doubt or your own insecurities stop you from growing. Don't let yourself be dwarfed because you don't feel that good about yourself, perhaps. So if you can drop the smallness and leave it in the mud, let it become fertilizer for you to grow from and grow strong and tall within yourself. So this feels like a strength of heart and an uncovering of heart, and also a revealing of your insecurities that are holding you back from growing. I trust that makes sense, Nicole. Thank you. Next person has this card, Accomplishment. And it's for you, Kanti Devi Wedad. So accomplishment, this is about noticing the view on your journey. And, like we have goals and we have things that we're doing, and we have a mountain that we're preparing to climb, perhaps. But what you've been reminded here, Kanti, is to take the time to stop and enjoy the view of where you find yourself on your journey up the mountain. So in regards to the flower and these new beginnings, I feel like this is really acknowledging what you have accomplished and what you have accomplished on a personal level, and that this gives you strength as this flower and as this seed and as these roots embed down into the earth, This gives you the strength that you need to continue to grow because you've grown before. You've got a lot of lotuses all around you that you've already overcome and that you've already risen from the mud. So this is normal. It feels like almost normal for you now. So I hope and trust that resonates. Thanks, Kanti. Okay, next person has this card, Rejuvenation. And it's for you, Joanne Monroe, Rejuvenation. So it says physical, mental and emotional rest, repair, disconnect from electronics, reconnect to nature, meditate, relax, balance, and your state of being, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or even spiritual, your state of being is important. So this is really holding space and really noticing where you're at is the feeling here, but also noticing what you need to replenish or the balance that you need to find or feel or experience within yourself so that you can grow. It's a bit like what I was talking about before with the recenter card. I think Andreas had it. Finding center and then you'll grow from there. So it's like finding rest or finding reprieve or retreat or something within yourself, and then you will grow from there. So if we prematurely try and grow or force ourselves into new beginnings that we're not quite ready for or not quite aligned with, it's not really going to work out very well because it's going to be very disjointed and probably very scattered and probably full of obstacles. So sometimes we need to kind of do something else first, whether it be close old doors, in this case, maybe some rest, some healing, some rejuvenation, some repair of some sort for you, Joanne, so that you can bring yourself back together into a balanced state and then grow from there. So I trust that resonates. Thank you. Okay, next person has this card. Oh, ouchie. This is Raw Emotion. And it's for you, Chelsea Keith. So Raw Emotion card 96. And it says, new hope entering after a period of sadness, loss, or disappointment. Broken hearts. Thanks, Joanne. Grief. Everything will work out, and trust in the bigger picture. This is a big wash of emotion. In fact, it feels like this in itself represents this mud that you're sitting in, and it feels wet and it feels awash. It feels full of raw emotion. Now, the hope is the lotus flower. The hope is this growth, this new beginning, that you can rise up out of the ashes, out of the mud, and let this lotus flower that we're connecting with today, for the most part, let that blossom and let that grow. It reminds me a bit of finding opportunities within the challenge or turning fear into love, and really look at shifting that the difficulties and that muddy energy into something positive. What is the positive in this? What is this? What is the diamond in the rough? That sort of thing. So I trust that makes sense, Chelsea. Thank you so much. Okay, next, we still have quite a few here, is male support. And it's for Kimberly Veness, male support. So this is protection. This is your inner father protecting your inner child. This is the protective support that we all need from time to time. So are you feeling protected and safe to be able to bring the new into your life, Kimberly? And if not, maybe taking steps to support yourself and look at where you feel unsafe and how you can bring that safety and that protection in. That may be helpful to give you the strength. It's almost like feels like the seed's giving itself a hug, but a really protective hug to be able to grow, to be able to step into the new. Thanks, Kimberly. Next person has this card, expansion. And it's you, Pamela Florea. So expansion. This is really about connecting with your star home. This is about connecting with more than the physical, if you like, or an expansion of the physical of where you might find yourself at this time. This is a higher plan. This is a bigger picture. This is a higher calling in regards to the new that you want to bring into your life. So if I got this card for me, I'd be quite excited because it feels to me like there is a higher plan to whatever is on my mind that I'm wanting to start or I've just started. that there's a bigger picture to that. There's more of a purpose or even a mission element to what I want to bring into my life now. So that's quite exciting, Pamela. So thank you. Okay, next person, we've got this card for you, reunion. And it's for you, Gayle McCoy. This is very much highlighting the masculine energy, which has come up a few times here, actually. This is about the masculine, so it's bringing up your strength and allowing your strength to support your emotional side. Or in other words, allowing your inner masculine to support your inner feminine. To me right now, as I connect with you, it feels like your inner feminine is probably louder than your inner masculine. And so to be able to grow in the way that you are ready to grow in at this time, if you can bring that inner masculine, that strength forward to support your inner feminine or your emotional side, you might find that you feel more balanced, and that will then help you grow further in your life. So bringing that masculine energy forward might be represented by independence, strength, courage, willpower, assertion, determination, and summon this sort of strong energy that's there. So I trust that makes sense. Thanks, Gayle. Okay, next person is Nicole E. Nicole, you have spiritual surgery. This is about healing of your body for the most part. Healing of your body or healing things that have been coming to the surface from your past, but it's usually healing the body. So what about your body is showing you what you need right now, or what needs to be healed or shifted or released that you've been holding in your body? What is your body telling you? And this will be an indication as to what you need to potentially do to then be able to step into that new beginning energy. So deep healing. Make time to support your body and the healing that it needs. Thanks, Nicole. Next is soothing, and it's for Sandi Greenham. And this is very much about calming your emotions and calming yourself down, especially on an emotional level if things have been a bit stirred up or a bit whipped up lately on an emotional level. So find a way to calm the waters, and then that will give you the space and the conditions you need to expand and to grow into the new beginnings that call you, Sandi. Thank you. Okay, next person has this card, Winds of Change. And it's Angela Fraser. Winds of Change. Things changing and moving quickly. And it's almost like the weather whipping up. And you might find that you have a small window to be able to sort of embrace or to step into this new beginning that this whole thing is representing for you. So it feels like a small window because the winds of change come in quickly and they move out quickly. So the opportunity is short. The window is short. You know, it reminds me of some of the seeds of some of the plants are very fickle and they only have like a small window. The temperature has to be just right and the conditions just right for it to germinate. Whereas other seeds like weeds, they can, I think, grow in any condition at all. So some doesn't matter. We have a big window of opportunity with conditions and some we don't. And the feeling is, Angela, that try not to put this off because it feels like now's the opportunity to embrace that window of opportunity that's there to grow or step into this new thing for you. Next person. Oh, next person has the Phoenix. Who is it? It's Angie Griswold. Angie, you've got Rise of the Phoenix, card 33, which I have to read because it's so inspiring to me. It says, take everything to the next level, rebirth, new life, let go, emerge as your real you. You create galaxies through your actions and intentions and expand. There is nothing in your way, Angie, nothing in your way at all. So consider if you think there's something in your way because it doesn't feel like there is anything, and allow yourself to rise and lift up like the phoenix. Awesome. Okay, next person has stability, and it's Janice Chalmers. So this feels like bringing things into a stable place will support your moving to the next level or lifting up into this new beginning. So what about your life needs stabilizing or securing? Could be especially to do with your survival needs to begin with. So health, roof over your head, finances, these are types of things to really establish a stability with first. And then from there, that's the foundation or the roots that you need to embed to be able to grow from there. It's very difficult to grow if you're not feeling stable or if you don't have strong roots in the ground, but your stability feels to be quite priority. So get yourself stable if you can, or as you can, and then you'll grow from there. Thanks, Janice. Okay, we've probably got around 10 left. Next is disintegration, card 105, and it's for you, Sylvia. This is interesting. It says things falling apart to come back together again in a new and better way. Release your hold. The glue is melting, transformation, reforming, and the new. So this is things falling apart so they can come back together again in a new way. A disintegration, really, of sorts, so that things can reintegrate and find a new place. So don't be afraid of letting some things go that aren't working so that you can bring something new in that does work. So what isn't working and what about that needs to be resolved or dissolved so that you can bring yourself back together and then grow from there. Thanks, Sylvia. Next person has creation card, and that's Jayne Larson. I think we've got 3 Janes on our list. So Jayne Larson, card 30, creation. This is cool. This is the blank canvas. Anything is possible here. What do you want to create? What do you want to build? What do you want to start? It's all possible here with this blank canvas of creation. So, yeah, anything is possible. What do you want, Jayne? The feeling. Next card is stillness, and it's for Tash Gerlach. So stillness, this is about finding inner peace. It's card 26, self-healing, inner peace, silence, self-discipline, self-control, finding a quiet place to be at peace. And look, she's got the lotus here, but it's sitting at her throat. So find peace. You might even want to just spend a couple of days being quiet instead of the need to say something all the time. Maybe test yourself and see with your self-control, do you need to say anything now? And what would happen if you don't? You know, just as a bit of a test for you, because it feels like quieting the voice, quieting the words, finding a place of stillness. And then that's helping you move the lotus basically up to your crown. It's growing. It's at your throat now, helping you find peace in your communications, and then it will move up your body and up to your crown when you're ready to blossom here. That's the feeling. Thanks, Tash. Next person has isolate the problem, and it's the other Jayne B. Didn't you have this card the other day? I think you might have. Isolate the problem. It says change the habit, understand the problem, make changes, notice what isn't working, find a solution, observe, discover, take responsibility. So this is like noticing like the cancerous parts of your life that need to be isolated, need to be recognized, and then cut out, basically. So it's very difficult. It almost feels to me like you're wanting to grow, but you have these growths over you as toxicity in your life. And these growths need to be isolated, so worked out what they are or what's the connection here, and then cut them out. And then that will lighten you up, lighten your load, your burden, so that you can grow up like the lotus. That's the feeling, Jayne. So I trust that makes sense. Thank you. Okay, next person has clearing vision, and it's for you, Viktoria I Daniels. So clearing vision. It says, open to your soul's vision, clarity, wake up. The clouds are parting, gather information. See who you really are and who you could become. Oh, and who you want to be. I don't know why I said that. Manifest your visions. So what is your vision? So this is about having a clear vision about where you want to go or what you want to do. And it could be something just very doable, very simple to begin with. It doesn't have to be something outrageous or just out of reach. Make it something doable that will give you something to work towards or look towards or travel towards. But I feel like clearing a vision for yourself instead of having a muddy vision, that feels, it's like clearing the waters so you can push up. So even though it's muddy, the waters feel like they want to clear for you, Victoria. Okay, next person is Joanna Levine. And Joanna, you have this card, Remove the Mask, card 99. And it says, reveal the truth, uncovered, stop masking, be real, don't pretend or distract yourself. So this is very much about honesty. Remove the mask, remove the costume, remove the disguises or the disguise that you feel that you have to wear. So it's like a lotus that's trying to be cloaked in some other costume, and it doesn't feel like a flattering costume. So maybe it's also about being too hard on yourself, because as you remove that costume, it's a bit like, you know, a wolf in sheep's clothing. But I feel like whatever clothing or disguise you've got over yourself as this lotus is not flattering. It's like some weed or something. So try not to be too hard on yourself, but recognize those parts of you and how you feel about yourself that do not support your growth. Because underneath there is this lotus. Can you tap into that potential and let that grow and awaken within you? So thanks, Joanna. Okay, we're down to the last 6. Next person's going to have this card, Being Resistless. And it's for you, Andrea Stuart. Being resistless. So this is the opposite of resistance. This is feeling no fear, no resistance, or moving through the fear and the resistance and going for it. Going for it and really getting on board with the path that you are ready to get on board with. So this feels exciting. There's a lot of action in this card. There's a lot of readiness. Even though you might feel petrified and scared and resistant, there's this bravery feeling of pushing through that and really letting yourself take the action that's required, to not hesitate and to keep proceeding. It is safe for you to proceed. So thanks, Andrea. Next person has this card, the Tree of Life, and it's Suzie Nicholls. So this is about growth and balance and bringing everything into a balanced state around you, conditions, environment, inside and out, bringing that space of balance, because there is growth here. You are growing. You're growing in quite incredible ways. If you look back on you a year ago or you 6 months ago, there's a lot of growth that has happened there. So some growth periods are quicker and more noticeable than others. So maybe recognize the growth that you have been growing, that you have been doing here, Suzie. So learning lessons and, yeah, moving through the cycles. Thanks, Suzie. Next card is Receive Assistance. And this is for Avril Daly. Receive assistance. Help has arrived. You are not alone. So here, help has arrived to help bring you what you need to be able to grow as this lotus flower. So what is it that you need? Help has arrived, and what you need has been provided pretty much now. So in the last couple of days or in the next couple of days at the most. So what has arrived to support your growth and what you need to excel and expand and to grow? We've got 3 people left. Next person has synchronistic order, and it's Magenta Borealis. So this is things being built or constructed. This is order. This is synchronicities. These are signs and things lining up and showing and giving you the evidence that you need, that you are on track, that everything is just how it needs to be. And this is how things have lined you up to get to here, to be ready to step up or rise up or grow up in these new beginnings that you're ready to embrace, is the feeling here, Magenta. There is stability here, there is support here, and things are lining up. Things have been lining up for a while. So thank you. Second last person has Enchantment, and this is Rebecca Ross. So this is new beginnings. This is moving into a quiet place as well. This is walking lightly on the earth and walking lightly in your life. And it's a place of internal reflection as you prepare to grow in a really thoughtful way. So it doesn't feel spontaneous, it feels very thoughtful in regards to what you want to bring into your life next, Rebecca. And I feel it just growing up from above you, like you could almost dream up any dream and it will grow before your eyes. So what is it that you need to thoughtfully consider for your next growth period? And the lucky last person has this card that's left, which is Heaven on Earth. Who is this last person? I guess the last person knows. It's Bridget Mehrtens. Card 44, Heaven on Earth. This is things coming together. You're meeting yourself halfway. That part of the work in your growth here, in your rising up, has already been done. So you're meeting yourself here in the middle, if you like. The flower is already on its way up to the surface, as another way of looking at this. It's balance, it's meaning, it's coming together, it's love, and it's living it, it's being it. It's beautiful. Thanks, Bridget. So you're all here now in the fertile ground, different stages of preparing to rise up as the lotus flower from the mud. And I'm going to play my new drum that I just finished. I'm going to move the microphone away a little bit in a second. So I'm going to play the drum here over you and feel it call you. You've already been activated. If there's something that came up in your card that you need to do first, or something you know you need to do first, maybe take the time to re-establish that balance or whatever it is you need so that you can grow. And I want to create this space with the drum like it's calling you out of the depths, out of the mud, out of the internal place to bring things to form, bring things to life. So enjoy. I'll be drumming for about 5 minutes or so. Thank you. Thank you. What a beautiful drum. I love this so much. Okay, it is on the website. If it speaks to you, it's just been listed. I haven't shared it anywhere yet except for here. And it's so amazing. Like all these pathways, these pathways, sometimes we feel like we're going around in circles. Other times our path opens up. Sometimes our path is strong. Sometimes it feels weaker. It's just, there's so much in this drum. So thank you so much. And I could feel things clearing out of the way. And like the drum was holding all of your hands, helping pull you out of the mud, especially if you've been feeling stuck in the mud, pulling you out of the mud and really enticing you into something better, something more refreshing, something more beautiful and lighter for you if you've been feeling stuck. So it feels like a lot's been shifted today. So just let things settle and let things anchor and find themselves over the next couple of days for you as you need to. Thank you for joining me. Thank you to everyone on the healing list today. I trust that you've enjoyed this connection. I will be back for next month's healing list event at the end of November. So keep an eye out for that if you want to be included next month. If you're already on the list, then I look forward to connecting with you again next month. And if you want to be a part of this experience, then please have a look on my Patreon link, which is in the video description. And you can follow the prompts there to sign up for the $15 a month level. Gives you access to this healing event and some other things. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope and trust that you've enjoyed this connection. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you again sometime soon. If you have any questions or you want to learn more about my work at Temple of Balance, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. Thank you. Bye.